Hey, how you doing, Jalen? I'm going to give him a couple minutes to get in, and we're gonna get rocking and rolling. We might be me and you rolling it out for the rest.
That's fine with me.
All right, give him a little bit.
Oh,
I thought I was unmuted. What's happening, Jalen? Oh, I'm gonna let you.
I know you lying. Because I was sure thinking, dang, how many 5 minutes we gonna give them?
Right. Hey, I heard you with the baby. I was trying to give you a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I'm gonna not be my videos. I'm watching you, but my video's not gonna be on until I head into the living room. But I'm in full attendance and focused.
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just start off with, as usual, going through the recap. Let me pop up my screen. Let me pop up my screen and see how far we've gone. Rocking and rolling. So, we left off with building our team. We built our team. You got your slogan. I'm gonna wait to ask you about your slogan again. First thing I'm gonna ask you is, did you do your homework?
I did, and I'm really excited to talk to you about that because I think I'm gonna have to change the areas of target.
Ah, you got some information on your market, huh?
Yeah, I did. So for one, the real estate agents that are in my county do not like working with wholesale investors. I didn't even tell them I was wholesale. They were like soon as I gave my elevator pitch, they were like, "We don't work for wholesale. We don't do wholesale." And so I was like, "Okay." I called 3, and then all of the real estate attorneys that are in my district, they have, of course, like assistants, um, and there's a minimum. The cheapest consult I found today was $100, and I started off like, "Hey, I'm Jalen Powell within BW Investments, and I just had a quick question, or maybe I could talk to you about a couple things." And they were like, "Oh, are you a client?" And I was like, "No, I'm not a current client, but hopefully that will change, or maybe we could do business together." And they were like, "Okay, well, consult. Well, this is his assistant or her assistant, and usually to be able to speak with the attorney is $100, $150, $300, like these crazy amounts just to talk to them and see if they just to see if doing real estate, because doing wholesale is legal here." Because that was the only question I was going to kind of go into asking,
Mm-hmm.
like, "Hey, do you guys do wholesale? I mean, is wholesale legal in this county or in the state, or does it differentiate from DC to Maryland to Virginia, since this is like the triad, and we're all so close?" I can even ask the damn question because they won't talk to me without me paying them to sit down and talk to them. And then the title agent that I contacted, so by the time I called those 6 people and contacted the title agent was like, "No, we don't do assignment fees. We do something different, other type of titles. But I know somebody that does that, and I'll shoot you over an email. I'll CC on the email connecting you guys and ask for my email." Never got a freaking email from them. So yeah. But just because I feel like this area is not, I don't know, I don't think it's a good, at least the county that I'm in. So tomorrow I plan on reaching out to maybe Montgomery County, because the county that I live in Maryland is predominantly white, And I kind of got the good old boys vibes from them.
Yeah,
Like they
yeah.
don't really want to work with nobody that they don't know. And the good thing about being in the DMV is in the counties that are predominantly Black, like Montgomery County and, up towards Baltimore, I've found living here for the past couple of years that Black people are willing to help you. So I think I'm going to try to migrate more towards the communities that look like me, because maybe I'll find, the team that I'm trying to build be more willing to help, like the attorneys. And then I'm in this real estate group. I joined a couple real estate groups on Facebook along with some wholesale groups. And I'm gonna get in there, ask some questions, and see who lives in the DMV, and maybe even try to get with somebody, JV with somebody, not even to receive any compensation for the deal, but just kind of shadow work behind them.
You said
To
you
like,
you said you didn't get the email for the title agent.
no, they didn't even email me. And at that point, I couldn't. It was too late in the day for me to call them. It was like 5:30, and so all the other ones that I had Googled were closed. So, yeah, I just don't think this is a good area. Like the county that I'm in is a good area, but I don't mind driving. So probably try to go closer towards the city in Baltimore.
Well, the best thing would be that we don't see anybody making it till Friday with you. So remember, I'm gonna help you with your first deal.
Right.
So as soon as we're still looking for other people to assist, we're actually still are going to be actively looking at houses. Looking to attract those
Okay.
buyers, and really, to tell you the truth, before I dive in deep, you know what we can do? Let me go to this screen right here, show you something. You got your prop screen. I'm gonna jump into prop screen. I also have something I need to email over to you also. Let me send this over to you.
Okay.
You're gonna need this. We're getting into the class sections today.
Okay. You need to go your little fat butt to sleep.
Let that baby handle her business. I'm going to my email. Man. And I have too many windows open. There we go. Okay. Jalen Powell. Letting this load in here. You can go ahead and check your email. And while you're checking your email, I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
And show you what I'm looking at, what I've been looking at today. Just to get brief with it. So this is your zip code that you just said we might go to a different area.
Yes. Wait, trust them. I have. That's not for you. You email me
Yes. Check your email.
at the 190.
Yep.
You put Gmail, right?
Yep.
Okay, I haven't gotten it yet. Let me see. Let me try to refresh it because it said I ain't
Did you get the business credit from yesterday?
did.
Okay, yeah, just let it refresh it.
Remember, we went over it yesterday.
Oh,
Okay, I got it. Yeah. Uh,
so I guess let's look at it real quick. Let's pop it
okay,
open.
I'm looking at it. The questions to cash buyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually have a specialist. I don't know if my specialist is on the line. I need to get my specialist on the line to get into that. I didn't plan on getting into him, but since we're looking at it, let's look at the packet and see all those goodies that's in there. I'm going to send your contract separate because I'm going to send those as Word files so you can edit them as much as you need.
Okay.
Coursework. I just opened one. Questions to cash buyers. This is the part. This is your reverse wholesaling right there. That's your money. That's why it's first.
Okay.
You can change it, get different, more questions and stuff like that. But this is your basics right here. Talking to him, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm gonna have some. I'm not gonna role play it. We'll do that one later. But this is critical. What zip codes are you interested in? Just like when you was talking to them today,
Mhm.
to those different people.
Mhm.
They didn't want to give you information, but somebody may have gave you a zip code that's hot. I have another way to look up hot zip codes too, though, online. But then you have that. Do you have a preference to style of home? You want to know what type of home they like to work with? Ranch, 2-story, tri-level, colonial style, multifamily, apartment buildings, commercials. What is your rehab comfort level? Light, medium, heavy. Some people don't want big jobs. Some people don't. Some people have a budget to where it doesn't matter. What would be your ideal purchase price? That's letting you know where their price range is at. It's letting you know how much money they can put into a deal. What is your ideal return on your investment? That's going to let you know how much money they want to make off a deal. Okay. Do you buy and hold or do you buy and flip? Buy and holds tend to pay more. Buy and flip want to pay less because they want to put all their money into the repair and make their money quick. And then you always tell them we require earnest money deposit, paid to stop all showings of the property.
Okay. So, quick question: the earnest money is paid to the
Title company.
who picks that? Okay, because we talked about this yesterday. Earnest money is paid to the seller.
Correct. So, but in this case, when you're talking to a cash buyer, the earnest money is coming to you. Well, the seller of the contract at this point. Right?
Right.
Right? Because at this point, if you're talking to the cash buyer, when you're talking about earnest money deposit, the only way they're going to be putting the EMD down is if they're paying you for your position in the contract.
Mhm.
So they're just going to put their deposit to you so you can stop showing the house.
Right.
And that's also where you want to let them know they're going to use your title company.
Right.
Melody, you want to come in here? You want to go through the packet? Because you can get some good scenarios on how when you talk on the phone, because you got the transaction cut off sheet because you good. She's a disposition manager. She's a lead
Oh, okay.
manager. She's a CEO and an acquisition manager all in one. She's another person that's had to wear the hat, all hats. So I'm gonna let her go.
Well,
Yeah, I'm gonna let her go a little bit through the packet, but just because I know when she say some of these things, she's going to give you some different scenarios, and it's going to give you a feel of what it is. We just went through the cash buyers, but she'll let you know like how that really sound when you're talking to them. And her voice is a little better than mine.
Okay, because your old white man country voice when you talking to the people is really blowing me.
How I be sounding?
You be like, yeah, so this is Bob. I'm looking for a property. I'd be like, Lamont, some people do not sound like that.
All right, hold on. Let me go get this. Let me see you a link. Let me go over and get this link. Yeah, well, Bob, well, you got to know that. We are looking to make a profit on the property. I ain't gonna lie about that now. See, I'm telling you one thing, you don't want to be afraid that, this is to make money. This is no charity. You're not working for free. You're not, you gotta know that in your heart. That's why when you go with your pricing and your numbers, you're gonna know everything that you need to say to them with confidence, major confidence. While we're waiting on that, look what I've been looking at these homes. I've been looking at these homes in your zip. See, now we got to now I'm gonna have to find out what zip codes we need to look for out there in Baltimore.
Wait, you see that one for 79,000?
Mm-hmm. Let's look at it.
Oh, but that's the estimated loan balance. So is that when that say that, is that what this is owed left on the house?
Yeah, I'm gonna teach you how to look at all this. This is the thing about PropStream. You wouldn't downloaded it, right?
Yeah.
So remember I was telling you the difference between the softwares, the MLS, and the software that I use?
Yeah. Well,
Let
you
me
didn't
show
tell
you.
me the difference. You just told me it was different ones.
Okay. So look, I put in your zip code, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see this filter that I have up?
Yeah, I just had to scroll over some.
Do you see on this right side where it says my search?
Mm-hmm.
So I put this criteria in that says, I want to know all the house. Let me clear it actually. Let's clear it. So I put in your zip code, right?
All right.
At 7,682 homes, right?
Okay.
But we don't want to call all these homes because all these homes are not distressed owners.
Right.
So why would we waste our money with skip tracing and our time with calling these people for no reason?
Right.
So we're going to filter them. Okay. We're going to filter them to our liking. Let's go to something I like. The out there in the DC area. Okay. Owner occupied. Do we like owner occupied?
We like own, not occupied.
Owner occupied means they're living in the house.
Right. So we don't like occupied. We don't like that. We want it to be vacant.
Right? But guess what? We don't want to just box ourselves into only vacant houses. We want the houses that are not owner occupied, but it can be vacant or occupied. And that simply means they just have renters in it.
Okay.
So we're going to leave that at any. Okay.
Okay.
So now we can break it down even further to the property characteristics. Now, if you're talking to your cash buyer and you just did your list, you're going to put the characteristics in right here. Say I'm a cash buyer. Let's see what I like. Okay, Lamont like residential. I'm looking for residential, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look what's happening as we go. Number went
Numbers getting
way
shorter.
down, right?
Mm-hmm.
1648 now. I know it went down after we did the owner occupied. Also, no. Okay. Property types. I want a single family. Not looking for any condos, but no, actually, maybe since Jalen told me I need to get in this DC area and they have the row houses, townhouses. So I might want to click that one, right?
Yes, because that's what your bread and butter gonna be.
Right, and there's also going to be multifamilies, brownstones, things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. So me, I'm saying I know what type of house like that. I'm on a minimum 3 bedrooms. I don't want a single bedroom. I don't want to sell that. I don't want to get that. It's gonna be hard to get off. I know what the area like, so I want a minimum 3 bedrooms.
Right.
You can put in the minimal bathrooms if you want. I'm not tripping on that. I'm not gonna go too far into the bathrooms. Right
Yeah.
here, you can put in the year built. If you're looking at a newer area, you can put in the year that it's built. If you say I only want houses that was built after 2000, I don't want no old ass house. I'm gonna put that in there, right?
Right.
You can even break it down to the features. You can look up a full garage, basement, attic, any of that. You can even put the school district in here like you on the MLS. So check this out. You see this MLS status?
Hold on. Where I'm looking at?
You
Oh
see it?
yeah.
You see it? So even though we don't have access to the MLS, there's certain things that we can check that comes from the MLS, like if it's on market or off market, if it was ever listed and what date was it listed, if it's on market, how many days was it on market, was it listed below the market price? We can put these different criteria in here. If was it a failed listing, right? How much was the listing? We could look for houses that was listed in your area that was listed for under 100,000. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. Let's do that. If it was listed at all, we look up active. We don't want any contingents. We go to failed. And let's look at the soul. Forget it. We'll see what happened. Let's look at the soul real quick just to see who pays something below market price in your area. Just real quick. I'm gonna take it off, but let's look at it.
Okay. Can you also explain to me what something fail means?
That means that it went on the market and it didn't sell.
So is it like a certain amount of days where something is considered fail?
Well, it's if the seller took it off the market. So typically, a seller gets into a contract with a realtor for 3 months, 6 months, and if they don't sell it, if they get out of contract, that's a failed listing. If they go with somebody else, or even if it's a failed listing and they put it back on the market, a lot of times when it's a failed listing, people will come back in at a lower price and try to sell it, or get a lot of people to come look at the home.
Mm, okay.
This house right here.
Sale
Go ahead.
fails are probably good wholesale deals, huh? Because they already attempted to try to sell it
Yeah,
before. Okay.
definitely. They tried to sell it and they couldn't sell it.
So maybe
That,
that's where we come in and say, hey, I can help you
yep.
sell your house.
Mr. Jenkins, I see that you have had 3 failed listings in the last 6 years. My gosh, right? I tell you what we can do. Maybe you can't sell it at market price, but maybe you may think of taking the price down. Well, they told me I need to take the price down. I don't know. Well, maybe you need to think about selling to a cash buyer because you're not going to get market value for this home. And we can pay it, we can buy it and get it off your hands for cash. Because obviously you don't want the property. You've been trying to sell it for 6 years.
Do you think it's beneficial to become a real estate agent while wholesaling?
I did it for the credential. Yeah, if you want to get better in the market. But I mean, at the same time, it just depends on how deep you want to get into the market that you're in and what you really want to do. Are you getting in it so you can flip your own houses and sell them without commission? Are you getting in it to start a new business and keep working? I mean, something like that. Because if you're going into the wholesale business to look to build your real estate investment company, you're going to build your capital, and you're going to start having projects. You're going to have projects. You're going to have fix and flips.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to, do some work. So it just depends on what career path you want to take in real estate. This house right here sold for $2,200.
Warehouse.
Think it's a miss. I think it's a miss print. I'm thinking.
It gotta be.
Well, I mean, sometimes if people with their family, some people do things like that. But I'm thinking it might be 220. It sold in 2009 for 248. So I'm thinking it sold 10 days. It was on the market for 10 days. But see, and this is where you would want to contact that same real estate agent and ask them, hey, I had a listing ID. Would you mind looking this up for me? MDSM 174370. Yeah, sure, sure. Oh, the house on Jetson Court. Okay, yeah. It looks like it's sold for let's look at it. So when we look at it, we can be like, oh yeah, it's a misprint. It's sold for 220. Are you looking at these pictures?
I am.
Even though they did the carpet and stuff like that, if you look at these pictures, this is still old finishes. That's why it sold for 220. Right?
That's crazy. Is that a single family home?
Yep.
Or
This is
is
4 bedroom, 2.5 bath. Estimated value $305,000.
I was about to say most houses aren't going for less than 300,000 single family homes.
I'm thinking this one for 220. In 2009, it was a cash sale for 248 when the market went down. So somebody was looking to get a steal on it then. And then if it's on the MLS, it's sold in 10 days for 220. That means that these pictures are probably a little dated, as I can see. But yeah. Hey Melody, how are you, Melody?
I'm great. How are you? Hello, Jalen.
Hi, how are you?
Great. Is it Jayla or Jalen?
Jalen.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. I like that name. It's pretty.
Thank you.
Thank
Melody,
you.
I wanted to get you in here because I'm great. I'm very great at role playing and my voices and all that. But
Mm.
I get down and dirty with it. And I like to do a lot of things off the dome, so I'm good with that. But you are actually great with your process and how you do the things because you'll organize it. I'll get on and just talk to anybody, but you'll be, you're pretty astute with what you do. And I wanted to, we were going to go through the transaction pack, and I wanted you to kind of give her a little walk through the transaction packet. And Jalen, if you're paying attention, once she give you the walkthrough, you're going to really have, from what we've done the last couple of days and what you're thinking in the industry and the people you talk to today, after you go through this little packet right here, you're really going to have a gist of everything. And everything after that is going to simply come from us putting the tools and applying them. All right.
Okay.
Does that sound good? Did y'all like that a little bit?
Yes.
So Melody, do you,
Sounds
do you
good.
actually have the transaction packet up? Do you need me to bring it up?
No, I have it, but yeah, you can bring it up that way.
Yeah, I'm already
Jalen can
sharing
see
my
it as
screen.
well. Right. Okay, that's perfect.
Just let me know if you want to just look at each sheet or if you want to go in order. Jalen also
Well,
has.
we can just go over the cash buyer
Okay.
questionnaire really quick. Um, Jalen, so when you do get on the phone with someone and they say that they actually buy homes as well, you're going to have to be really quick because sometimes they'll just end the phone call and you say, okay, that's great. Would you like to add it to my list of buyers? And they'll say yes. And then that's when you'll actually go through the rundown with all the questions that are listed here in front of you. Okay.
Okay, so how do you initiate this conversation? I like starting from scratch. So of course
Right.
you'll introduce yourself, your name, your
Right. Let's go
company.
to the next sheet. Lamont, can you go to the next one? Thank you.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so right here, yeah, we simplified it pretty much for you. And literally, we've made lots of money just using this right here. So you definitely, if you follow it to a T, you'll be extremely successful. Okay, so you start with your intro. You can say, I say, hello, my name is Melody, and I am with Baxbill Property Solutions. Um, is Mr. Walker there? And obviously, go ahead, Lamont.
Hi, yeah, this is Mr. Walker. Who's calling?
Melody, I'm with Baxbill Property Solutions. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm all right. Could be better. Sun shining and kids not calling anymore that much.
Well, that's awesome. That's great. I'm not going to hold you too long. I'm just calling in reference to a property at 1308 Smith Street. Do you currently own that property?
Oh yeah, yes I do, and I own the property next door to it too. What's your reasoning for calling me?
Oh, okay, great. That's good to hear. Would you be interested in selling your property or just speaking with me to see what we could pay you in cash?
Oh no, are you a wholesaler?
Absolutely not. I help people sell their homes.
Well, I actually own about 30 homes in that area. I'm really not looking to sell any of them right now.
Well, that's fine. Would you like to find out how much you could get for them though?
No, I'm not interested in selling any of my homes. Like I said, I have about 30. I got rentals. I'm really trying to add to my portfolio.
Okay. All right. Well, what I would like to do is, if you don't mind, I would like to get a few details from you as well. Because what I could do is I can actually put you down on my buyers list, and what my team can do is we could search for properties that you may be interested in. Does that sound okay?
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, great. What zip codes are you interested in?
20253 56. I like 47 too.
Okay, those are definitely some great areas. Do you have a preference in the style of home that you're interested in?
I tend to like ranch, but I'm looking to try to get into a little bit more multifamily.
Okay, that's great. That's great. That's great. And what's your rehab comfort level? Light, medium, or heavy?
Oh, doll, I've been doing this for about 40 years now. Like I said, I have over 30 rentals right now in property. I'm looking to add to the portfolio. I gotta leave some to the kids and but long story short, there's nothing I haven't seen. So I mean, it really doesn't matter. As long as it's a deal, you bring it to me. If it makes sense, I'll
All
see
right.
if we can work together.
Well, that definitely sounds good. Sounds like you already have a team that's ready, which is super exciting for you.
Yeah,
Well,
we've been doing work for yeah, we've been doing our own work for a long time. I'll tell you back in 75 when they first started changing the different type of tiles you had to put into the flooring. There was this big thing about the work.
okay, you can pause for a second.
That's what they do though.
Okay, so Jalen, when you're on the phone, literally when you get a talker, just engage in conversation. I don't stick to the script totally. I ask them about the weather, especially if I'm calling, another state. We talk about that. I ask them how their day is going. I'm just not literally just reading off the script. I like to get a little intimate with the um, the
Right.
seller or the potential, client of mine. You know what I'm saying? I want to make them feel comfortable because you have to remember in this industry, they don't know you. You're a complete stranger. You're calling them up and you're going to start getting into a lot of personal um, business when it comes down to it, and they have to trust you. So I go in and I ask them how their day it was. And, like I said, what's the weather and so forth. So I pretty much go down this whole entire list. Um, I don't tell them anything about the earnest money deposit. That's something later that you would actually go into once you've viewed the property and you have a buyer. Okay. Does that make sense? Have you went over that with her, Lamont?
Well, I mean, we haven't went through a whole transaction yet.
Okay. So that's on there. But that's not something that you would actually say when you find out that your caller um is a buyer. So you just hold off for that. That's just something that you use later on when you let them know, like when you want to move forward, you let them know, okay, this is the way we're gonna handle this one. Okay. What else is it? Okay, so you always ask them, you try to get it in there too because it's long. When you say, would you be interested in speaking with me to see how much we could pay you in cash? Would you be interested in selling your property or speaking with me? Because a lot of times people want to know, everybody talks about money and they're curious, oh yeah. Some people say no right off the bat, and some people will say, yeah, sure, absolutely, you know, because they want to know how much they're already spending the money when you tell them the number, or you're just, painting that picture where they're like, oh, I could get some money off that property. I do have some renters in there and they're terrible renters, I'm ready to go on a cruise. I'm in a financial strain, anything could be happening, in that person's life at that time. So you definitely want to get that in, even if they say no. Or I'm calling in reference to a property. If they say, try to cut you off and say, okay, that's fine. Would you be interested in selling your property or just speaking with me to see what we could pay you in cash? And I always be like, take a deep breath to get that out. Cause sometimes, you just have to speak really fast when you're talking to someone.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it just says, great. I have a few questions about the property makeup and condition that I would need to ask you. And then you go to the next sheet.
Okay,
And
so
it,
once they say that they don't want to sell their property, that's when you hit them with the reverse, right?
right, correct. Would you be
Okay.
interested? Then that's when you would say, okay, great. Well, I could actually add you to the list.
No,
What
no,
type of
no,
properties
no.
are you interested in?
Wait,
What?
the reverse. That's only if
If
they
they
have
say they,
property, if they're an investor, if they're a cash
right,
buyer.
right. So
Okay.
yeah, definitely if they say they have properties and they own properties, that's a buyer. If they just simply say, no, I'm not interested, just say, okay, great. Will it be fine if I follow up with you in a few months?
Right. So the first scenario was simply because of the cash buyer was first. We went through the seller qualification at the beginning, but I was a cash buyer, so we went right to that. Right now, she's giving it to you as far as going straight into an actual seller of the home.
Yeah, the owner.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Wait, can you hear
Okay.
me? Okay. I
Yep,
had
I
to
can
make
hear you
sure.
just fine.
Okay, I had
Just
to
let
make
me
sure
know
we're
when
on the
you're ready to proceed.
Right. Just let us know if we need to slow down and just make sure you got the clarity.
Okay, so once I start my conversation, okay, so my question before we proceed, my question is if they tell me no, I don't want to sell my home, and they don't mention that they're an investor,
You
then
would just
how?
say, you were just going to say, okay, great. Is it okay that I follow up with you in about 6 months, 3 or 6 months? And they might say no, and they might say, yeah, sure, that's fine. Or
Okay,
some will literally say, oh, I'll never sell it. Then obviously that's someone that you wouldn't follow up with.
so I'll scratch them off my list.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, okay, but that was the only question I had for
Okay,
right now.
perfect. Okay. And then so if they say yes, and then you would just say, great, I have a few questions about the property that I would like to go over with you about the property makeup. And so you obviously, you would fill that in, the property owner name. I was looking at yours. There, where are you going, Lamont?
Yeah, I was looking at it through the email. I wanted to make it a little larger for you guys.
Oh, it's fine. Is it okay, Jalen?
Mm-hmm.
Right there, is that better for you guys?
Mine froze.
Am I only supposed to see the break? Because all I see is the.
Right, it like froze.
Good.
Yes, that's good. You know, we can zoom in on our own. Like we can pinch and make it bigger and all that on the Zoom app.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to like worry about enlarging it or nothing like that.
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah. Wait, what did you say? You just
Hey, we
said,
can't
oh,
hear Mel. I think we lost Melody.
Oh, can you guys hear me now?
You were muted the
yes.
whole time.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I was talking to, I'm like, all right, that's so funny. So where it says property address, that's when you would go ahead and fill it in. Because when you are going through and actually calling different owners of their properties, you don't know who's actually going to say yes. So you don't need to fill in all these sheets when you print them out. Okay. Only
Right.
write out, the person that literally the owner that says, sure, yeah. So you fill it in. Now, when it comes down to your build style and property size, you don't want to ask them that question because lots of times they don't know. And you want to be able to search that on your own because you'll be able to pull it up. You can either pull it up on like Zillow or the assessor's office and so forth. Okay.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And then, but you will ask them, so how many bedrooms is the home? They'll tell you. So Lamont, go ahead. How many bedrooms?
It's a 3-bedroom,
Bathrooms?
1.5.
And I usually try to go through this list pretty quick because you don't want to like bore them. Everybody has like a short attention span, it seems like sometimes. Is it occupied or vacant?
Oh, it's vacant.
Okay, perfect. How long has it been vacant?
It's been vacant for the last 3 years.
And the reason why I ask that is because, you want to, like, if it's been vacant for a long time, it's probably a reason why, and it lets you know if they're truly a motivated seller or not. Because sometimes if they
Mm-hmm.
have renters in it, some people are like happy that they have renters and they're excited and they're satisfied. But if it's been sitting for a while, it either could be some repairs that are needed or they're just tired of dealing with, they've had terrible renters in the past.
Okay.
Has the bathroom or kitchen been updated in the last 5 years?
No.
Okay. Is the plumbing, the electric in good working condition?
Yeah, I just got yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Has the roof been replaced in the last, oh, that's a typo, in the last 10 years?
No.
Okay. Does the flooring need replaced?
No. Like I said, I mean, like I told you, it's in pretty good condition. I just haven't got over there to getting the work done that need to be done. Of course, it needs a little bit. It's an old house. I actually got it. For me and my ex-wife had it. Thought we were going to give it to Jared, and Jared went on to California. So I don't know. It's okay. I don't know.
That's fine. That's fine. I just want to make sure that I have my numbers to calculate properly so I can give you the best offer.
Okay.
So basically, when you say things like that, you're just letting him know or the owner know that you're interested in making them the best offer, because it's all about them and the offer as well. Does it have a garage?
No.
Okay. Does it have a basement?
No.
All right. Any foundational issues?
Not that I know of.
Does the property have central air?
Yes, it does. I actually got that installed when we first bought the home, and yeah, we do.
Awesome. Okay, that's great. Do you know of any major repairs that the property needs?
Uh, ma'am, I tell you the truth. No, it's a good property. I mean it's a great property, and I'm not really looking to sell. But if I sell it, I'm going to want I don't think anybody's going to want to pay me what I want for it. No major repairs. There's a hole in the left basement wall I've been looking to get into, but other than that, I don't think it's a great property.
Oh, I thought you said it didn't have a basement.
Oh, ma'am, I'm sorry, ma'am.
I can't deal with him. Okay. So
No,
basically, when you
because
go
what I
through
was
this
trying to
process,
show is that even though they still think they have a good property, when you're asking those questions and they have to answer them, they answer them honestly, which is the same thing, just like in regular real estate, any transaction, they do have to answer those questions honestly, even though you ask them
right?
as is, it's as is from your knowledge, and you can't, like the home, you can't have roots growing through the bottom and you try to get them fixed, you didn't get them fixed, and it's coming up through my piping, my plumbing.
That
Mm.
is correct. That is correct. And it also, what's happening is, okay, so the next question is, it says, how much do you think it will cost to update, remodel the property to 2020 standards? So now, after I took them through this process, they had to think about the home, think about the condition of the home, think about the repairs that were needed. And then now I'm going to say, okay, great. So how much do you think it will cost to update the property
Well, my cost,
to
that sound like
current standards?
if I can get Bob to come over and do the roof. I don't know, that might be, hey, you're right, it might be about 10, might be about 10, 15 grand.
Okay, okay. And I know you said the property is pretty much in good condition, but would you say that it's possibly poor, fair, or good?
Well, now if I'm talking to you, I'll say I thought it was in good, but I'll still say it's fair. It's still a good property to me, but I guess it has some repairs that's needed, but it's still a good property to me.
Okay, thank you. This helps me get a better understanding of what repairs we need, if any, to better assess the property. Do you owe anything currently on the property?
No, I own it outright. It's my property.
All right, and you did say that it was vacant, correct?
Yes.
All right, and do you by chance have a price in mind? An asking price?
Uh, I don't know. You tell me. I said I wasn't trying to sell my property. You said you're going to tell me a price that you're going to pay me for my property.
And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Since I have all the information and the details needed, what I'm going to do is run a quick analysis with me and my business partner, and I'll call you back within the next, and you just let them know that you're going to contact them in an hour, 2 hours, 30 minutes, the next day. I mean, whichever is best for your schedule, Jalen.
Yep. And that's unless beforehand you already had some numbers ready
Right.
for this person. Because the other thing is, especially if you know the home is vacant, like if it's in your area and you drove for it, have a number for them. Have a number that you can shoot out there for them that's not too crazy and is not too low.
Right.
Because
And
that, go ahead.
I was going to say, and then within, so you're just reading the person. And as you go through this list, this questionnaire, you'll get better and you'll get comfortable, because depending on the tone and the response from the actual owner, you could also get in there and say, because he was kind of hesitant, he said that he didn't want to sell the property. So you don't want to push him too much, but in some cases, depending on how it's going, you can say, would it be okay if we come and look at the property? Are you okay
Yes.
with that?
Yes.
Because he said it's vacant, because there hasn't been any updates, it's been vacant for a couple years, it does need some repairs and things like that. And obviously he's not planning to put any money into it because he hasn't. Went through the questionnaire, the roof hasn't. Did you say the bathroom? I don't believe he said the bathroom has been replaced or the kitchen been updated in the last 5 years. So those are all things that tells me that he's not doing anything to the property. So it's really just sitting there vacant. Sense?
Exactly, because that price also doesn't matter until it's on the
Yes.
contract. Did you hear me?
The price doesn't
Right.
matter until it's under
So the
contract.
sooner that you
Right.
can get right, right. And you don't want to throw out, like he said, you don't want to throw out a number too high because because remember they're gonna be stuck on that high number too. It's hard to get them down sometimes
Yeah.
when you put that number out there. But like I say, you want to throw that in, depending on how the conversation's going. If you feel that they're extremely motivated, just set that appointment up. If we come out and look at the property and make you a cash offer as is and close as soon as 45 days would be the least you would be willing to take.
Boom.
So now he had already told me he doesn't think that I would pay for it. So that's why I wouldn't be too pushy, because he could have this crazy number. Maybe he wants 500,000 for it.
Well,
But
I gotta get 65,000 out that property. I gotta get
so and you never know, and you always want a price point. So that's why you're asking those questions.
Because check this out.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, because check this out. When she said that, what's the least amount, and then she find out the reason why his number is so high, because he's saying I gotta have 65 out of it, because then you might find out that he has another a lien or something on the property, or he does have a loan on the property, and he's just trying to say that and just trying to get a price up there to pay that out.
Correct.
Right.
Right. So true.
Beautiful thing.
So with doing my first deal, with doing my first deal, my aim is to go for vacant homes and homes that don't have a lien or an existing mortgage on it.
Not necessarily.
I know it's possible to do them, but do you think it'll be, better if I don't try to focus on those on my at least my first deal?
It doesn't matter if there's a mortgage on a lien on there if there's money in there to be made.
Correct.
Okay.
If the mortgage, if they only owe 40,000 on a house and the ARV is 250, you in the game. You in the game still.
Okay.
You're in the game.
And you get a lot of people you literally don't know their situation. Sometimes they don't want that crazy number, it's your surprise, but I mean, it's a family home that they've had forever, a parent owned it or something, and now they have it and they haven't done anything with it. So
they don't want that much for it.
Right. Yeah. So they're just like, okay, yeah, sure. I was thinking, probably about 75,000 or, whatever it is. And you're like, the house is worth 250,000. Sure. Absolutely.
Right.
Like we, and it's a blessing in disguise.
Right. Because if that's the case, because the buyer only has to pay 70%. And if they're asking for a super duper low number, then your wholesaling fee that you put in there could be decent if they lowball themselves.
Right. That's why the average is 10,000. You can wholesale $100,000. You can make 100,000 you can make $1 million off a wholesale deal.
Right.
That's the beauty about not having to be licensed and being in the wholesale game, is you can make $1 million off the right deal if you find the right deal.
Correct. And then you set up that appointment, you let them know that you have enough details for the property. And then in here on the script, it says myself or one of my business partners will contact you within the next 24 hours with an offer once we complete our comparable analysis. And when's the best time to contact you? And then you just make sure that is the best number, and you get their name, because it could be, like I said, it could be a daughter or a son. So maybe it was the mother's or the father's house and that's not them, but they do own it.
Okay.
So you just verify that, is this the correct number to reach you at? And your name was, and things like that. Okay. Thank you so much for, taking the time and speaking with me. And, another scenario would be, setting up the actual appointment. When would be a good time? If you get someone that's just saying yes, 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 definitely. You don't have to go through all the questions, really. You just need to set the appointment up.
You good to go.
Right. So if you get someone that says yes, 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 get the basics, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
find out, and I can write some down for you, find out, do they own anything on the property? Do they have an asking price in mind? Everything at the top about the property. And then you can set up the appointment, if they're saying yes, because you want to get over there and evaluate the property.
Okay.
And then at the bottom, it says qualified seller, motivated, non-motivated, highly motivated.
Yep. Qualify them. Melody's doing Podio tomorrow. And you want to put them in Podio.
Right.
Got it.
And so when you go out to the property, you made the appointment. You go to the other one, the property inspection summary.
That's it right there. Can you see it?
No.
Yeah, we just see you really big.
Well, maybe I gotta zoom out.
Yeah, I got it. You remember, it's going back to how it used to. You remember when Zoom, if you share a screen and change it, it stays stuck? Remember that back in the day?
I think so.
You see that
There
now?
we go. Yeah. Okay, so you have the property inspection summary. So this is the sheet that you actually take to the property and you're looking at it, you're writing down the specs and so forth, and evaluating the house off of what you actually see. Because let me tell you, a lot of people will tell you that the property needs nothing. And when you get over there, you're like, it's 1930 in there.
Oh, see. They like as long as
Yeah.
everything work.
Right. Literally, it's like, what? Wait a minute, or they're a hoarder. Ugh, so always wear jeans, sweater, or long sleeve shirt,
Right.
and boots. Get you some water boots. Don't ever go in flip flops or regular gym shoes because you never know what you're walking into.
Never.
And never go by yourself.
Toes.
Don't
See,
go by
that's
yourself.
the only thing. So most of the things that I'll be doing until I create a team, I will be doing.
So do you have family where you live?
I have a 2-month-old son. I'm related to him.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. But no, I don't have any family or friends here. So most of the stuff, most of the businesses, well, I'll be wearing all the hats, basically. So so it'll just be me going.
Okay, so you have to meet some friends. You got to get out and meet someone, and as you're building your team, somebody that Do you work?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay. Do you have any past coworkers that you are close with or cool with?
Nope. It sounds so bad out loud. It's not that bad when you're living it, you know what I'm
saying? Right. No, I was just sitting here trying to think like, who could it be? Well, anyways, find a girlfriend versus a boy, a man. But find a girl, and then
But you need a man too.
But to start, right? Yeah, you can always. I would feel safer with one of those. So
you're right. Don't let me tell you. Yeah.
So, like I said, if you can find a female, that's great. Or, you feel comfortable with calling someone that, a contractor, because they're, I would feel safe with a contractor, especially after 1 or 2 times. You can get them out there with you to evaluate the property as well.
Okay. Or I have a gun. That helps, for safety reasons.
Right. Yeah, that always helps. Right. Make it visible.
Right.
So you ain't got no time. We ain't playing no games. But yeah, definitely. So you evaluate the property. You look at this list and that's what you're looking for. Does it need new windows? Because like I said, they'll say it's in good condition and 4 of the windows are broken out.
Right.
That cost. Does it need landscaping? Does landscaping need redone? You know, for any foundational issues, the carpet, does it need new carpet? Does it need new paint? The kitchen, does it need updated? The bathroom, same thing. Doors, you're looking at all of that.
Okay.
And it pretty much just has everything listed that you typically would need to go and do your numbers. Is there anything else you want to go over on this, Lamont?
The thing is about this property inspection summary, when you do have it, and even if you, I mean, don't go by yourself, but don't not go because you ain't got nobody to go with. You know what I mean? Figure out, peep the scene. Damn, you don't take this shit. Damn, what are you gonna take the baby? We got to figure this out.
Well, he's in daycare. He'll be in daycare.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to go out to you're gonna have to go to lunch.
Right. Or you're gonna have to meet with one of the moms at daycare.
Yep.
But do you guys think that's a good idea to do, like, to collaborate on business with people that I don't know?
Yeah, you don't have to involve them in your business. You can just tell them to ride with you because you have to go look at this property.
You can pay.
Okay.
You can pay.
And you can pay them if you want to. Hey, I need you to ride with me to go look at this property.
Right. Or just meet me at this property. You ain't even got to ride.
Right. They don't have to. Yeah.
But if you don't have a contractor, if you can look at this, repairing these cost calculations, this is just a pseudo calculation that can give you an idea of what some of these things cost if you've never seen them before.
Right.
You see that, Jalen?
Yeah.
On the right side, it says repair cost calculations.
Wait, hold on. I see. I'm trying to make it. Okay, yeah, I see it.
You're right. So that gives you an idea. And you can throw those numbers out to the owner too. So I'm like, okay, look, you're like, it's 4 windows that need replaced. That's going to be, $250 each. So everything that you're looking at the house that needs repair, you're literally chopping that number down.
You're taking that off every time.
Right. And that's why you have this paper, this sheet with you. That's the sole purpose. Is to bring that number down, to really see the owner in person, see the house in person, and to say, oh, it's definitely not worth what you were asking.
And you can physically show them, well, this is what I have for repair costs. And this is, I haven't even had my contract over here to try to get it lower.
Right.
This is estimated. It may go up or down. I don't know. You always got to leverage. My contractor, I'm not as good as my contractor. He probably see things I'm not going to see if I found all these things, especially if they told you the property was good. And then when you do see these things and you can tally up some marks, it's like, wow, I didn't know I was going to be at 9,000 in repairs.
Right.
That's why you never give your end price before you do these things.
I'm so sorry. I have to take this call. I promise I'm going to click right back on, but this is a very, very, very important call.
Go ahead.